It was then that I opened the notebook my mother had given me. She said she found it while cleaning out the closet. Crumbling and covered with dust, it turned out to be the diary of my long-lost grandfather. Do you still remember how we first met and all of our adventures since? It all seems like such a dream nowadays. You were a piece of a star that fell from the sky. Whenever I want to return to those days long gone, I close my eyes and whisper your name into the evening sky. Kid. 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 Hey, kid. Are you ready, kid? I know you're really anxious, but stay on your toes.
Yeah, likewise, mate. Mess up and I'm leaving you behind. Come on, Magil. That bastard Lynx is gonna get what he deserves. Say your prayers. Not that it'll do you any good.
Hi, my name is Bryce. Welcome to VHS Play, where we are playing Radical Dreamers and recording it all on VHS. So, hey, there's a lot that I have to talk about, and that title screen doesn't stick around for long, so we're just going to kind of end up cycling here for a bit. So, yeah, Radical Dreamers. What a comeback. This is a ROM from 2003. But yeah, I'm trying to figure out how to condense all this information as best I can, and this is really the only chance that I have to discuss any of this information, because in case you haven't guessed from this opening, this is a very text-heavy game. It's pretty much a text adventure, yeah, so during the Nintendo Direct, they announced, oh hey, that Chrono Cross HD remaster that was being rumored about, turns out, yeah, it's real and it's coming out soon. And then they dropped the other shoe, and this is where I lost my mind. Everybody else lost their mind immediately after when Kirby stuff started happening, but I was already gone by then. When they said that Radical Dreamers was getting included in the HD remaster for Chrono Cross, I screamed. Like, I was so psyched, because as they mentioned during that presentation, this game was originally available only on the Satellaview, which was an add-on for the Super Nintendo, only available in Japan, something that you could only get via mail order or specialty stores. And required a paid subscription in the days of the early internet. The service apparently was, I think, if I remember the years right, it's like 1995, shut down in 2000. But that's a 5-year gap of obscure technology for a console that, you know, as popular as certain things are, it was only like, you could only get it in Japan and only with early internet paid subscriptions, and just like, that is several layers of obscurity and just like niche. So On top of that, this is, from what I've read, it sounds like the creator was never particularly happy with this game. So it seemed pretty never going to happen for Radical Dreamers to get an official release outside of its original launch in 1996, which would have been like not long after the Satellaview launched. That's basically, this game is only known outside of Japan to a select few, pretty much, thanks to emulation and fan translations. And I cannot state just how wild it is that this game is going to get a chance to be seen by people. And that's great. I am so excited for that. And I say this having bought within like the last year a copy of Chrono Cross for the PS1, brand new from the Square Enix website, because they apparently still have a few PS1 games kicking around and you can still buy them, and hey, why not? And I've been talking about maybe doing Chrono Cross, and hey, you know what? Radical Dreamers, it's happening, and I am so stoked. I am so excited. And this, as I mentioned, is a ROM from 2003, so about 20 years ago, and I haven't played this ROM since. So I remember almost nothing from this game. But I do remember that it was really something special and something unique, and like the games stuck with me in a way. Like, I don't remember any of the plot points, really. I don't remember like really much of anything in this game, but I do remember that it's special. And I remember it's special. I remember that it was really touching, and I remember that it's got some great music. So, well, hey. And again, apologies. I kind of have to get all of this out up front because there's not going to be much of a chance for me to really do like a big aside later on. And I can't break a lot of this up. So, well, hey, do I have anything else to ramble about before we cycle through this opening anymore? I don't know. I'm just excited. This is probably not going to be a full playthrough. This is probably just going to be like a quick dive. And hey, look at this game, isn't it neat? And hey, maybe go get that Chrono Cross Radical Dreamers edition, because this is going to be part of that, and that's really special, and that's really neat, and I cannot stress how cool that is. Also, I mentioned that this is a French translation, so welcome to Les Tech Speed, Les Slowest, Les Pieux, Les Normal, and Les Fast. Also, saving doesn't work in this ROM. It crashes the game every time. So, well, hey. I think we're going to stick with Tech Speed Normal. Les Normal, because I already struggle to read enough when I am recording stuff, so let's not put any more pressure on me. Right, I guess one last thing before we get started. If you're new around here, hi, my name's Bryce. I record things on VHS because it gives me a literal nostalgia filter, because memories, much like VHS footage, are fuzzy, not quite the right color, and yeah, they're just imperfect. Also, I just kind of like the way it looks, which who knows how that's going to look with this whole deal that I have set up of hooking up my computer to a VHS, or excuse me, a VCR, and then recording things. I do know it often ends up making that, in that specific process of computer to VCR, it ends up getting kind of dark. So I might be cranking the brightness up. Might be cranking the brightness up a bit. There we go. During the editing process. We'll see. Anyway, I'm excited. Radical Dreamers is again, it's just something special. So, well, hey, I'm done talking now. Let's go. boy, did her information help. Thought the perimeter's counterspell would be quite a problem. Kid's braid sways gently from side to side in the cool nighttime breeze. So far, we've managed to slip through the magical shield network undetected and sneak into Lynx's domain. Still, this inner region can make for some pretty tough travel. Kid, Magil, and I comprise this party of 3. It's been something like 3 years since I met Kid. Back then, I was Drifter, wondering where my music led me. During my stay in the remote town of Agoria, I ended up running into a girl who later joined me, leading to the beginning of all this. That girl was Kid. Kid is a thief, of course. Not even 17 years old, she's already widely renowned as a top professional. To make matters worse, she's cute and devilishly stylish and has a sparkling personality, and boy can she cook. If you ask her, what is? Well, to be completely honest, she has her share of problems as well. She likes to think of herself as a kind of Robin Hood, stealing from the rich and giving to the poor, but that's just not the case. At times, her sharp tongue can get the best of her, viciously lashing out as anyone stands in her way. She exaggerates every other word and sometimes lies outright, and as for listening to other people, well, forget it. When it comes to money, well, I've never met anyone greedier in my life. Her relentless pursuit of wealth is ironic considering she's a nomad like me. I don't know. Maybe I'm being too hard on her. She has her good points too. She can really shine sometimes when she wants to. Glancing back over my shoulder, I notice a silhouette silently emerge from the grove. Magil. This associate of Kid's is known to us only as Magil of the Shadows. I know next to nothing about him except for the fact that he somehow knew Kid before I came into the picture. A high-class magician of some sort, he looks to be about 30. He usually keeps to himself, though. The top half of his face is covered with a mask at all times. I've never even seen what he really looks like. At times, it seems as though I'm hanging around someone from another world. Traveling with this pack is definitely an interesting experience. Kid's quiet about her past, too. But it's like I know her entire life story compared to how little I know about Magil. From time to time, I find myself wondering who he is, where he came from, and so on. I ask Kid, but I get the impression she knows as little about him as I do. You might be wondering, how did I end up where I am now? Well, there's a lot of reasons, I suppose. I guess you could say that life doesn't always go how you plan. Suddenly, Kid comes to an abrupt stop.
Seems someone wants to say hello.
Out of a nearby thicket, 2 shimmering eyes catch my attention. Whatever it is, it's staring at me silently. After a few moments, a few more pairs of eyes appear. They seem to be surveying the area. A deep feline growl breaks the uncomfortable silence, and I realize we're being hunted by a pack of feral cats. Few of the figures slowly approach from behind the trees. I look behind me only to see they've already encircled us. A few more slowly creep in, now totaling about 10. Chills run down my spine. In a daze, I clumsily unsheath my knife, grasping it tightly as I bite my lip. Kid stands ready with an air of composure.
Careful, mate. These buggers are probably rabid.
The growling increases, now a constant rumble all around us. Their yellow eyes shimmer like jack-o'-lanterns, while saliva drips from their snarling jaws. The middle one's stomach gurgles, as its eyes widen, fixed directly on me.
Looks like we ain't getting out of this one without a fight.
What do we do? Attack, magic, or defend? Or also run? Let's book it. Come on, let's go. Kid suddenly dives into the pack, delivering an awesome kick into one of the beasts. Painful howl fills the air, adding to the already heated commotion. The cat crunches, readying itself for a pounce. With its claws extended, it leaps forward towards me. I instantly dive out of the way. The razor-sharp claws miss my chest, yet some still manage to tear a painful scratch into my side. Damn it! Gritting my teeth, I regain focus. Hearing growling behind me, I turned and I realized there's another one right on my heels. I didn't press anything. That timed out. My muscles clench as the animal tears into my shin. Damn it! I struggle to compose myself and stand firm. However, the growls continue to increase, petrifying me. Quit stalling, Serge. Kid's voice returns my focus. What now? As I try to remember a spell, a cat suddenly leaps directly at my head, its huge jaws wide open. No! I raise my arm to guard my face. Pain sears into my arm. Struggling and tangling with the creature, I manage to pry it off and keep it at a distance. Surge behind you! I turn around to see that I'm now face to face with a pair of those ravenous yellow eyes. There's no time! I duck as the cat lunges and snaps at me. I smell the bloody odor of the cat's breath as it passes overhead. Just as I think it's past me, I feel its back claws dig into my back. Scrambling out of the way, I manage to shove my knife upwards, planting it deep within the animal's belly. The sound of death can be heard as the cat falls to the ground before me, barely moving. Almost delirious, I lose balance and fall to my knees. Rolling over, I manage to shake off the confusion before any of the other cats can get any closer to me. I take a deep breath and try to tighten my grip on my knife, now slippery with sweat. Then, out of nowhere, a Kid flashes across my field of vision, landing a direct hit onto the cat beside me. The cat screeches in pain as Kid pins it to the ground, stomping and kicking it with all her rage. Without a moment's delay, she boots the animal underneath its jaw. It moves no more. All of a sudden, the crazed atmosphere gives way to a war cry behind me. Whip around to see Matchell's inferno spell setting a cat's head ablaze. It jumps up, screeching and howling in madness before running away wildly. In confusion, it runs directly into a tree and knocks itself out cold. I look around and see that only one of the pack hasn't been taken care of yet. As Kid and I start to close in on the beast, it bolts, fearing for its life.
Well, that was some workout, eh, mate?
Says Kid, coming towards me as she tends her to her arm. Take a deep breath as I look around, trying not to step on too many of the bodies. Am I going to be alright? I sure took some blows back there. I'll be the first to admit, I really haven't been in too many of these situations before. Danger wasn't my calling, I suppose. Try talking to Matchell, despite knowing how he'll react. Are you alright? With an expressionless face, he looks down at me blankly. You need not worry about me. Won't find a better voice for him. Wow, the affection is just overflowing from that guy. However, I probably shouldn't start complaining now. We've still got a long way to go. We haven't even set foot inside Viper Manor yet. Kid glances over at me, seeming eager as ever, ready to tackle what's next.
You gonna hang around all night, or what, mate?
No, not just yet. I need a minute.
Quit whining, Serge, she says, glaring down at me coldly.
You're always saying that.
Mess up and I'm leaving you behind. Well,
then what? You'd be alone, that's what. You never have any respect when talking to me. I wish I could say these thoughts to her, but in my heart I let out a sigh. Look up to see you from behind me. She's already started to head off to the forest. Magil continues behind her without a hitch. I hurry to catch up behind the two. In a place like this, getting separated would be a bad idea. We continue making our way through this natural labyrinth of wood and rock. Somewhere quietly waiting within this huge forest, Viper Manor beckons us. Deep within lies the treasure we've come for. Lord Lynx, as he's formally known, is an aristocrat who governs the Regiona Outlands. From the way Kid talks, he's apparently an old adversary of hers. Tonight, our goal is Lord Lynx's most prized possession, a scarlet jewel known as Frozen Flame. Besides being priceless, some say this beautiful stone harbors some sort of mystical power. They say many people have sought after the flame, but none have been victorious in stealing it. Viper Manor has claimed many lives. But we will succeed. We pride ourselves on making the impossible possible. Besides, the way Kid talks about Link sometimes, it sounds like she's got an awfully personal vendetta against him. We can't lose. We've come too far to lose. And so, after having spent countless hours crossing this dreary, lonesome forest, the silhouette of a towering mansion finally comes into view through the trees.
We made it, Kid shouts. Your days are numbered, Lynx.
We quickly make our move, quietly dashing out from behind the thicket. Once at the mansion wall, we creep stealthily along the perimeter, searching for an entry point. After a short while, we come upon a terrace near a garden, which looks relatively inviting. It doesn't look like there are any guards on patrol. Still, the mansion gives off a strange sort of morbid feeling. It's as quiet as death. Magil gazes at the towering fortress. We can enter into the west wing from here. There's no need to look elsewhere.
Okay, let's go, Kid says, jumping over the terrace handrail.
Halt, shouts Magil from behind, staring at Kid. Our goal is the Frozen Flame, not vengeance on Lord Lynx. Remember this, Kid.
Aye, no prob,
she says, glancing over her shoulder.
Ain't gonna be nothing to it. Like taking candy from a baby. We'll be out of here before that slimy rat knows what hit him. Yeah, you low-down, good-for-nothing bastard. I'll make you pay.
There she goes again.
Come on, I'm getting tired of waiting around,
she yells before bolting into the mansion. Magil shakes his head in silence as I chase after Kid, already deep inside. The darkness engulfs me. Passages extend to the left and right. Wherever we turn, darkness awaits. Okay, so this is where we're getting into the actual maze of the game, and it's kind of a lot. And I, of course, have not left myself any paper immediately available. One moment. All right, there we go. We have our paper to track where we're going, because of course there's no map. It's a Super Nintendo game. There's just not things. I also remember one of these ways immediately leading into either death or the game crashing. So let's also double check. Do you ignore that there was a mouse cursor on screen? Hey, there we go. All right, cool. Things are working. Let's do the rite passage. As though we're inside a gigantic snake, the passageway twists and turns, stretching deeper and deeper into the mansion. We now stand in almost complete and utter darkness. Just a trace of moonlight manages to illuminate the path. I stop for a moment and realize it's now completely silent. I feel as though we're being watched silently by every single being in this dreadful house. Taking a deep breath, I move on. I set my foot down slightly, with the stealth of a cat, yet so valiantly composed. Kid follows behind in stride. Drifting in and out of the shadows, the macabre figure of Magil looks out from behind. The Weaver of Fate has surely by now taken notice of us, cradling us carefully in her arms. We make our way down the dimly lit passageway. After a few moments, we come to an old dusty door on the right. Kid quietly presses her ear against the door.
Quiet as a church mouse. No one's there, mate.
Alright. Let's try the door. Sorry, trying to piece together who's speaking. It's probably Kid. She's the talkative one.
What's with all this junk? Must be a storeroom or something.
It seems like this is the inner mechanics of a clock tower. However, the gears look old and rusted. The cogs are spinning randomly without connecting up with their proper teeth. I doubt the clock's still in use today. The room seems to be currently used as a storage area. A large object catches my attention off in the far corner of the room. It's too dark over there to see what it is, though. Do not touch anything out of the ordinary, Magil says abruptly, sending a sudden shock down my spine. However, just as he says this, I see Kid emerge from the shadows, dragging a large object out into the middle of the room. It's a large antique sword of some kind. Who's speaking? We'll bet search. I've got no use for that old thing, Kid. All it'll do is slow us down besides. We probably wouldn't even get up much money for it.
I reckon it's worth a lot to the right bugger. Like an antique collector or something.
Sulking, Kid quietly lays down the sword.
What do you want?
Look around, startled. It was definitely not any of our voices. Kid and Magil immediately take position, focusing their attention towards the source of the voice.
Who's there?
Figure suddenly appears out of the darkness. It seems to be a short, old woman with a large hood over her head. Although fully covered, it's obvious why she's old. Let's try that again. It's obvious she's quite old.
It's just some old hag, Kid says.
Magil's sharp gaze on the woman remains unchanged, however.
What an energetic young lady. You haven't come here this late in the evening to drop in on some friends, I imagine.
Glance at Kid.
Perhaps you have some score to settle with Master Lynx?
My heart jumps. This is definitely not good. Will she warn the rest of them about us? I mean, she's already onto us. Let's just go for the truth. Kid's eye is narrow.
If we did have a score to settle with that bastard, what's it to you? Just as I expected.
The old woman cackles in amusement.
Children, they're always so interesting like that. So imaginative, yet predictable. What are you talking about, lady? Oh, it's already been 4 or 5 years, I would gather. According to what I was told, one night a young thief came to the manor, looking for trouble. The thief was a little girl about 10 years old.
Surprised, I glance at Kid. There's a trace of ice-like radiance in her eyes. Staring at her makes me feel as if it's suddenly dropped below freezing in here. Unfazed, the old woman continues her story.
The girl was an orphan. She set off to face Master Lynx all alone, hoping to avenge the girl who had cared for her like a big sister. But after all, she was alone. Outnumbered and overpowered, she was eventually defeated and captured by Master Lynx's henchmen. As an ally, Master Lynx can be quite an asset. However, as an enemy, he can be one of the most fearsome men alive. If not for a friend who sneaked in and secretly rescued her, she surely would have perished. From what I've heard, this mysterious figure, who could allegedly slip in and out of the shadows, was the subject of many whispers throughout the manor, long after this incident had come to pass.
Not moving a muscle, I try to look for Magil. He's nowhere to be seen. Can only guess he's sporting one of those trademark expressionless faces somewhere off in the darkness.
The inhabitants of Viper Manor don't condemn the unfortunate, because no one can win all the time. However, from time to time, the goddess of fate has been known to cast those who have too much good luck, throwing the cogs of time out of order. It's not wise to try and stand against fate, continuing to repeat one's mistakes time and time again.
The old woman continues, staring straight at Kid, smiling sweetly.
If you want to steal the jewel, if you really want to beat him, you too must give up your most valued possession, Kid. As long as you cling to it, the hands of your clock will never budge. Will stay frozen, trapped in the past.
Who the bloody hell is this old hag?
Me? Oh, I'm just an old lady. Pay me no mind. Thank you for listening to this old maid for such a long time. I certainly hope I haven't delayed you at all. But before you leave, which one of you?
With that, the old hag looks in my direction.
Ah, yes. You look like you've got a bit of a scrape there. Won't you let me have a look at it?
Wish I do. I don't know whether to be petrified or comforted by all this. He's been amenable so far. Yes, please do, old man. Please do, ma'am. The old woman clasps her hands together, bowing her head. She mumbles a few words in a low tone. Suddenly, a gentle blue light surrounds my body, filling me with a strange warmth. Wow, look at that. My wounds are being healed before my eyes. It feels as though there's some sort of soft music being played all around me, putting me into a strange serenity. I come around, the woman is gone. Hello? Lady? Says Kid, relentlessly looking around. However, there's no trace of her. All signs of her presence are gone. Wonder what was up with that old hag. Looking around, I can't help but wonder what she was talking about. With all that talk about a prized possession and everything.
Let's get our asses out of here. This place is giving me the creeps, says Kid, all of a sudden, already heading for the door.
Hey, Kid, wait up. To catch up to Kid, she gives me a friendly poke in the ribs.
Ain't no fair, you were the only one who got healed.
From here, the passageway stretches to the right and left. The right path continues into the mansion, while the left will take us back to the terrace. Again, the game might just crash at any point. So, we're going to be safe stating at pretty much any primary chance we have here. Proceeding ahead on the path, we come to a staircase going up and a firm-looking set of doors on the left.
There better be treasure here. The smell of gold's thick in the air, mate.
So we have a door on the left, and we have stairs ahead.
Just like I thought. Locked.
Kid says after jiggling the handle. Frustrated, she kicks the door.
This might slow us down, but sure as bloody hell won't keep us out.
Well, unless we find the key, there's nothing we can do, Kid.
Let's get to it then. I bet Lynx has got it stashed up in his room somewhere, the bastard.
Unable to do anything, we look elsewhere. With Kid in the lead, we ascend the narrow staircase. The cracked stone stairs seem to endlessly twist upwards. Feels like we're heading up to a scaffold to be executed. At the top of the staircase, an old but solid door waits for us, silently. This damp place fills me with a feeling of dread.
There's a faint voice coming from the other side of the door, says Kid.
Fear the worst. Maybe we should check somewhere else, I say.
What's the matter, you chicken?
She says while glancing at me, but I can tell by the sound in her voice that she isn't feeling much better about it than I am. There's something wrong about this place. We all know it. I really think we ought to come back some other time. I say hesitantly. Magil doesn't look too enthusiastic either.
What? You want to turn back? All right. Guess I got no choice.
Kid exclaims, while shrugging her shoulders.
How rare, Kid listening to other people for a change.
With Kid leading the way, we descend the stairs. At the bottom of the staircase, a quite sturdy-looking door stands on the right. The hallway continues on ahead, and which will take us back towards the terrace. After a little while, we come to the door on the left. The terrace lies ahead. So this is something I do find really interesting about the writing of this game, is that it does a pretty good job of kind of writing out the mental map of this place so that even if you are not keeping a physical map on hand and drawing it yourself, which is something I find a personal deep joy doing, there's still a fair amount of just hey, this is the direction you're going, that way is this place, this way is, opposite of that. So overall, I think it does a pretty good job of trying to help keep you from getting lost, but it is also recommend having paper on hand to draw your map. After a short while, the terrace comes into view on the left. The cool evening air trickles in through the doorway, giving me subtle reassurance. After a while, the path splits in 3 directions. To the left is a descending staircase, while the path on the right extends into darkness. Another passageway lies ahead. Turn and head down the right path. We head down the path. After a while, it ends at a stained wooden door. Guess this is the study. This huge room is faintly lit by the moonlight. Shining in through a tall window in the back of the room stands a large, ornately decorated desk. Row after row of bookshelves house thousands of thick, dusty books. A painting is hung on the rear wall, sharing space with various exotic curios. We'll start with the desk. Walk over and open a drawer in the mahogany desk. Drawers contain writing materials and documents arranged in an orderly fashion. Unfortunately, they don't seem to contain anything worth mentioning. But then a small picture in the drawer catches my eye. It's a portrait of a friendly-looking girl with a faint smile on her face. I hold it up, wondering who it could be. It's probably Lynx's adopted daughter, Kid says, looking over my shoulder, her with her nose crinkled. Pedophile. Suddenly we start to hear footsteps coming this way. Though they aren't that loud, they boom like thunder in the night. Kid and I jump up. Magil swiftly conceals himself in the nearby shadows. Gonna go for it behind the door. Kid and I quickly hide behind the door and our backs pressed against the wall. I hold my breath as the door creaks open. The quivering candlelight spreads in through the doorway. However, whoever opened the door doesn't seem to have any intention of entering the room. Thought I heard something. No reason for anybody to be in here, though, since the master is away. Still, those poor southerners to the south. With those poor southerners. Did you? Yeah. With those poor southerners on the move, it's better safe than sorry. The door closes softly, blanketing the room in darkness once again. The voice becomes more and more distant as the footsteps fade into silence. Still, we wait without moving a muscle. So, Poor's up to something. Magil mutters, emerging from the shadows. Poor is a large country governing the southern continent. I hear it's a pretty well-developed and fairly prosperous place. What would they be after in these outlands? Surely not the frozen flame. No matter how valuable it may be, in the end it's just a jewel, a piece of rock. How valuable could it be? We leave the study, retracing our steps through the dark passageway. Finally, the passage comes to a 3-way branch. There's a descending staircase in front of us, in addition to passageways on the right and left. The one on the left will take us back towards the terrace. We continue through the passageway. After a while, we arrive at a beautifully decorated set of double doors. This seems to be Viper Manor's ballroom. Beautiful, decorative ornaments rest on a large table in the center of the huge hall. Rows of huge pillars are lined up on both sides, adorned with sculptures of birds and various other animals. At the far end of the room sits a gigantic organ, taking up the entirety of the wall. Its pitch-black aura beckons us. A countless number of candles provide a soft, flickering luminescence to the room. Everything around us shimmers in the dim candlelight. Various portraits have been hung high up on the wall, depicting all sorts of well-dressed people. From what I can gather, they're high-quality oil paintings. They all have a similar sort of morbid gaze in their eyes. Who could these be? Lynx's relatives, maybe? Of these, a portrait of a young lady in a pink dress catches my eye. Wait, what was that? I swear she looked at me just then. Come on, Serge. Time to put away the ghost stories. It's just my imagination acting up again, I tell myself. It was probably a trick of the light, caused by a flickering candle or something. The oil's glossy finish distorted it for the image for a second or two. Yeah, that's what's happened. But I don't know. This room's bloody strange. Kid sees it too. She has to have seen it. I suggest we look elsewhere. Magil suddenly says. Kid and I offer no objections. We leave the ballroom, heading back through the passageway. After a bit of walking, we come to a three-way split in the path. To the right is a set of stairs leading down, while a narrow passageway on the left leads off into the darkness. The path up will take us towards the terrace. Well, guess we'll take the stairs. As I start to slowly descend the stairs in the dim light, I stretch my hands out in front of me to try to feel for something. However, all I'm greeting with is the moist feeling of these grimy stone walls. We've descended the staircase. To the left lies a huge stone archway, and to the right we can see a narrow path twisting into the darkness. Well, we've been doing right so far. The passageway makes a sharp turn to the right before stretching on through this subterranean maze. Before long, we're greeted with a beautifully ornate set of doors on the right. Strange. There's a distinct smell of flowers coming from here. We come to a comfortably decorated room. Small trinkets have been placed on the desk and the shelves, adding some charm. The owner of this room has obviously gone to great lengths to try and bring a somewhat graceful lifestyle into the otherwise dark mansion. Still, the room seems to carry an unsettling stillness with it. Bet it's Lynx's daughter's room, Kid says, surveying some of the items. The letter on the desk and a warm teacup hint of a woman living here. However, after searching the room, no one is found. All we find are various odds and ends. Beautifully arranged set of flowers, white handkerchief carelessly tossed aside, a small bottle of perfume, and so on. Although this stuff adds to the atmosphere of the room, none of it is really worth anything to us. Kid also seems to feel this way, disregarding most of the stuff in here. She picks up a small box decorated with a serpentine coat of arms. However, like the rest of the items in here, it looks like it's of little worth to us. What should I do now? Let's open the box. This kid slowly opens the box. A comforting melody fills the air. That song, kid suddenly says, standing up beside me. I look over to her, seeing her expression has changed to vulnerable curiosity, chasing a long-lost memory. You know this song, kid?
Yeah. A long time ago, someone I knew used to sing it to me.
She turns away from me, rubbing her eyes. Kid, I say softly, putting my hand on her shoulder. After a moment or two, she looks back at me. Tears are running down her cheeks. Not saying a word, Kid quickly walks to the door. Hey, wait up, kid, I say, chasing after her. From here, the passageway stretches to the right and the left. Heading right will take us further into the darkness, while turning left will take us back to the staircase. However, we're going to take the third option and call that a day. And also safe. So, I hope that like this look at this game and like this brief dive has kind of shown off what's special about this game. Like, I don't know, like I'm really, I find myself being intrigued by the story and everything going on with it again, and like the music just it's really subtle, and it just like when it kicks in pretty hard, and yeah, I don't know. Anyway, I have my save here, so I guess if you are dying for me to continue this, then let me know, and we can pick it up back up at some point. But otherwise, like, hey, this will finally be legitimately available, and that's super cool. Like, I screamed when they said Radical Dreamers on the in the Nintendo Direct. I was so excited. I'm still so excited. So come April, well, hey, I'm honestly, I am probably going to pick up Chrono Cross, and if for nothing else, it's going to be for Radical Dreamers. So yeah. Anyway, I hope like some of what I find special about this game has gotten across in this time. And yeah, that's, I guess, that. So thank you very much for watching. I've been Bryce. This has been VHS Play. Have yourself a lovely evening.